Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we're going to be playing more of the Power Shift Seasonal Event, which is an alternate game mode in which at the start of the match, all of our units will have their power set to their provision cost. And today we're going to be playing an archetype that gets buffed by this event significantly. Thrive Monsters. Let's check it out. So today we're going to be playing a Monsters Force of Nature Thrive deck, so that whenever we play a unit that has higher strength than our Thrive units, all of those Thrive units will get boosted. Now, normally Thrive units would start off very low power and then build up gradually over time. However, in this seasonal event, we take what would normally be one of Thrive's biggest weaknesses, its weak starting power, and turn it into a strength, because they'll start off with much higher power than usual. With that being said, I'll flip through the deck here to show you what we have, and you'll see some staples that we had for our previous deck, namely Ciri Dash and Ciri, because those cards are just so good in this seasonal event, so hard to exclude them. In addition to Roach and Knickers, because they have such huge value when they raid the battlefield. And as always, I'll leave the deck list and deck link in the description, so if you want to try out this deck for yourself, then you have everything you need right there. So there's a look at the deck, and with all Thrive decks, the idea will be to start off with our weakest Thrive units and then gradually build up in strength over time until we have an entire board of fully boosted Thrive units. I think this deck is going to be really powerful, so let's go try it out. And stick around until the end for one of my most intense matchups ever. Okay, so we'll go against Scoia'tael here, and they will go first. And we've got a lot of low Thrives here, so we might dump one of those. Let's get rid of Bruxa. Oneiromancy, that's great. And get rid of the Drowner. Okay, they're going to go Mahakam Defender. Which, with the tactic, means it'll get boosted by 1 every turn, but we can probably outdo that. Let's throw down our Nekker, fates the second Nekker, and then the other one gets spawned in on deploy, and technically, that deploy ability happens before the first card gets played. That's why you see that Nekker gets boosted by 1, and because it's not in our starting deck, it actually starts out with the 1 strength, rather than getting the effects of the power shift. Okay, they're bringing in more Dwarves here, but they don't have much in the way of long-term value, so let's throw down more Thrives, and getting 2 Thrives out there in 1 turn is huge. Especially in this seasonal event. And they're going to pass really early. Okay, that's a little strange. They do have a lead here, but we are going to draw 3 cards at the start of our next round, so I suppose we can play just about whatever we want here. Just want to make sure that it's powerful enough to pass them with 1 card, of course. So let's go with the Beast here. And that'll actually bring out Roach, which certainly means we'll pass them. And take round 1 on even cards, because we'll both draw back up to 10. So I think we're going to go for the 2-0 win here. Okay, and true into the Phantom and Knickers. Got to get rid of Knickers. Ciri, Dash, love that. Then we have a few 6 strength Thrives, so let's get rid of one of those. And that gives us a good card to start out with here, with the Nekker. Okay, and they'll go for boosting some cards in their hand. Let's continue with the Thrive. Go into our 5 strength Thrive unit now. Okay, and they're getting Resilience, assuming they play this in the melee row, which means they get some long-term value if this goes to round 3, but if things go our way here, of course, it's not going to go to round 3, because we're trying to take the win right here. So now we have our 6-point Thrive. And that brings out Knickers. Okay, and they're... Ooh, okay. Looks like they might be a Dwarf deck. And we could potentially do Naglfar's crew to remove some of that armor. So let's put that down here. And it's going to take a turn before it's going to hit the preferred target. Then another Mahakam Defender here. Oh, and then their other unit got boosted by 1 as well, so don't know if we're going to be able to remove that armor that we wanted to remove. Let's go with the Phantom now, which will trigger Thrive. It's not a Thrive unit itself, but it will get boosted at the end of every turn. Okay, and then they're going to spawn in a bunch of Dwarves here, so yeah, it does seem as if Dwarf theory confirmed here. And they have a bunch of units in the same row, so why not Werecat here and do a little bit more damage to them? Okay, now Zoltan, Again, more dwarves. And 11 points. But let's make this last a little bit longer with Matta, because our thrives will get stronger the longer the round goes. Okay, and they are not playing a particularly big dwarf here, so that's not much of a concern. Now let's break out a Ciri. I think Ciri Dash might have just enough time to trigger here. That is the risk with Ciri, is that with Thrive, you want to play your biggest cards last, because you're building up to them, and then, of course, both Ciri cards are cards you'd like to play a little bit on the earlier side. It's a bit of a balancing act. Great Oak is big. And do they go for the damage, or... No, they're going for the boost. Wow. So I'd like to get the other Ciri down here, and we'll just deal some damages. Okay, and not necessarily a dwarf, but spawns in more dwarves. Not a huge play by itself, though. Now let's Oneiromancy, and we can actually use the Drowner to move one of these guys, the one that's getting boosted in the melee row, into the range row, because he is row locked. He's not going to be as dangerous there anymore. Of course, could have done that earlier, but was trying to focus on optimizing the Thrive. So a bit of a trade-off there. Now they have Yurden. 12-point play on their side, and then of course resets one of our rows, although we have enough base strength here that it actually doesn't slow us down too much. So I think we might still be able to pull this off, especially if we go leader ability here. That'll re-trigger a lot of our thrives. Then if we go Ozzrel, and consume, looks like Roach is our biggest card. And at least at the moment that is enough, but let's do the damage with Apiarian Phantom just in case. And yes, Ciri Dash does trigger, but that's just going to be carryover for round 3 if necessary. They have a 13-point play, but unless they have additional boosts going on here, doesn't look like it's going to be enough. They'll use their leader ability. That'll be 5 more points. But even then, they fall just short, and we managed to pull off the 2-0 victory, even with the Yurden. Alright, so it looks like we're going against monsters here, and they'll go first. Okay, let's get rid of Roach, and probably too many 5 strength thrives, so let's get rid of one of those. Okay, now Raucous Nest is a little strange. Are they going with some kind of Raucous Swarm strats here? Doesn't work terribly well in this seasonal event, but let's get out our thrives. Start with our weakest one, our 4. More Warrior, and are they looking to consume those? And again, spawning in units does not get the effects of power shifts. That's why that's not terribly effective. Let's go with more thrives here. Of course, he says as he spawns in more units, but these ones have thrive. They have long-term value. Yeah, they're eating those drones. And then spawning in more weak units? Okay, I guess. Get more of the thrives out there. And they're continuing to eat. Now, Spontaneous Evolution, if they use it on an insect, will give them more of those 1-strength drones. What they're going for. Let's play more of our Thrive units. And that brings out Knickers. Eating more. This time, eating the unit that spawns in more 1-strength units. And then Siegfried? Purifying everything? I'm not sure why. Okay, well, let's use Oneiromancy. Get ourselves Ciri Dash. That will get out Roach. And we should have just enough time to get this card draw, or at the very least, force our opponent to pass if they don't want us to get that card advantage. Yeah, and they pass. So, it does mean we don't get to draw the card from Ciri, but we'll take it because it means we get to win round 1 on even cards. And that might mean we can go for the round 2 win here. In which case, let's get rid of Crow's Eye, try to get something bigger, and Ozzrel certainly is. Then get some better thrives as well. Okay, to start things out here, let's Oneiromancy into Nekkers, because I think getting 2 Thrives at the start would be a nice way to kick things off. They're going Goliath, which is actually weaker than it usually is, 8 rather than 10 strength. It's a little strange. And let's deal some damage to it with Naglfar's crew. Okay, and then Vargas, they're going to consume it? And maybe to avoid taking the damage, yes, but it does mean that we're going to get a card out from our deck here. It's going to be Matta, which is not ideal, because of course we're not getting her deployability, but she is a 9 strength body, so there's something to that. Let's move you back into that Frost there to take the damage that you were trying to avoid. Oh, then Geralt's on Matta? Oh no, we got much bigger cards than that coming. Let's play our next Thrive. Okay, an Imperial Man score, if you consume it, which it looks like you're going to do, you're going to what, get rid of our Nekker? Which is unfortunate, yes, but we still have enough Thrives out there that I'm not too concerned. Next in line is the Beast. And then their Oneiromancy. They go for the Phoenix, which does have some long-term value if, of course, this goes to round 3, but if things go according to plan, then that's not going to happen. Let's put Cave Troll down in effort to block Ciri on our next turn. Then they have their Cave Troll. So now let's do Ciri. Does mean that we don't have great targets for the damage, because Cave Troll is just going to tank that. Then they have Karen. And if they consume here, then that's actually going to help us out, because it's going to make the bees continue to get boosted. Yeah, they do consume. Okay, thank you. And last but not least, of course, we have Ozzrel, which we'll use on Ciri Dash for 10-point boost. And we could lead your ability here, but I think we have a big enough lead that we'll say that just in case this does go to round 3. And they just pass. They know they cannot catch up to us, so we take the win. Alright, so going against another Monsters opponent here, and they will go first. Well, let's of course get rid of Knickers, and I like our starting hand here a lot. If we're being picky, I guess we get rid of Naglfar's crew. They're going to start with Wild Hunt Rider. Now, of course, they will have Dominance here. Let's lead off with our Nekkers. They're going to go Phooca. Oh, are they going to be Thrive as well? Let's go with our Drowner here. And then damage and move somebody. Then they're going to go Vampires. Okay. Let's go our Phooca. More Vampires. Now, they don't have the bleeding yet to set this stuff up, but, well, that's probably a sign of what's to come. Let's get more Thrive out there. That'll also bring out Roach. And Knickers. And here comes some of the bleed. Okay, as well as a little bit more Thrive. And now if we can get down Ciri Dash, that'd be fantastic to get an additional card. Okay, and here comes more of the Vampires. More of the bleeding. So we'll deal some damage with that and also boost their Vampires that they played early. Now we have Ciri Dash down there. Let's go Matta, try to make this round last a little bit longer so we can be more confident that we will get that card draw to trigger. They're having none of it. They pass. And I think that means we'll just take the round 1 win. Unfortunate, of course, to just barely miss the card drop from Ciri Dash, but so be it. Okay, and I think we get rid of the Bruxa because we have enough good starting Thrive units here. And I think this is a good enough hand for us to go for the victory here in round 2. Let's give it a shot. So we'll start out with those Endrega Larva. Then they go with Nekkers. Okay, yeah, we did see some Thrive in round 1. Looks like they may do more of that in round 2 as well. But we'll see if they can keep pace with another round of double Thrive. Okay, they will have more. And some bleed to go along with it. Now let's go with the Phooca. And they're going back to the vampires now. And they'll add a little bit of bleed on the larva. Now let's go for the Phantom. Not a Thrive unit, but it'll get boosted every turn. And okay, this is starting to look a little bit mirror-y. Oh, and they even move our Phantom to the range row. Well done, although it technically will still get boosted there, just can't do the damage anymore. Now let's go Werecat for even more Thrive. And they have enough units in that melee row, we can deal decent damage as well. Okay, and they actually didn't play a card on that turn. Their turn timer expired, so that's a little strange, especially after they used one of their order abilities. We'll throw down the Cave Troll here. And that turn timer expires again. And it looks like they either disconnected or gave up for an unofficial forfeit. Did look like we were on pace for a convincing win there, but either way, we'll take it. Okay, so going against Skellige here. And we'll go first. And let's definitely get rid of Knickers. And maybe Crow's Eye as well. And we can probably do better than the Bruxa. And getting Ciri, we'll take that exchange. Okay, so let's start off with a double Thrive here. Getting a couple of Endrega Larvae in there. Okay, and Phoenix is a little bit concerning. 10 points this round, then of course carryover as well. Well, let's continue with our Thrives with the Phooca. Okay, and Saraquan, that is going to become one big tiger, and we don't really have any ways of stopping that. In which case, let's just continue with the Thrive. That'll also bring out Knickers. Then they're gonna Thaw, okay. Small boost and Veil on Saraquan, not that we had a way of shutting it down anyways. Let's throw Oneiromancy into the Beast. Get some more long-term value, and that will, of course, get Roach out as well. Oh, and then they're gonna lock the Beast. But now let's go Apiarian Phantom, which is in some ways just Beast Plan B. Okay, and Svalbard Priest, they don't have a great target to damage here, but that will be some long-term points. Okay, now let's go Naglfar's crew, deal some damage to these guys. Now they're going to remove lock and boost by 5. Of course, we haven't locked them, but bit of a boost, and leader ability as well. Okay, so they're trying to catch up here, it would seem. But we do still have a bit of a lead. Let's go with another one of the Naglfar crew, because I don't think we need to go with any of our big cards here. And we'll use our tactic, because this is probably going to be our last turn this round. Yeah, and they pass. So we'll take the round 1 win. We did technically go a card down here, so we may end up dry passing in round 2. Let's dump the Drowner here. Alpha Werewolf is maybe a bit better, but I think we can do better still. Matta probably is better. Okay, and let's get a little bit greedy here. Let's go with Ciri, because that's a big card that I'm hoping will take them 2 cards to pass, and then even if they do, then we'll get Ciri back into our hand. It's very high risk, high reward, but we'll see how it plays out here. And they have the perfect answer with Karate Heatwave. Okay, so we're going to pay for that, because they can just flip their Phoenix here, not need to play any more cards. And with us being down a card here, I think we need to pass now. And it means that we gave up our opportunity to get back to even cards in round 3, but I was maybe a little too ambitious there. Okay, and let's get rid of the Bruxa, but let's still get rid of the Bruxa. Yeah, Nekker's probably a little bit better. Okay, so we'll get the Phoenix out. And start with Sucrus. Not sure what combos they're going to have with him, but there are some very good ones. Then we'll start with our Nekkers. And Dire Bear is extremely concerning. No boost in that melee row anymore, so that shuts off the Nekkers. Means that we're going to have to play all of our Thrive units in the range row. We'll go Endrega Larva there. Oh no. Erna-Gerd! What are we going to do to stop this? It's a little bit early. The Adrenaline ability will not yet trigger, but that does mean that eventually every card that we play will get damaged by Erna-Gerd's 10 base strength. Let's rush in to play some units here before that starts triggering. So go Cave Troll. And then that Cave Troll is going to get moved to the melee row. Doesn't take any damage because it has that armor. But I think we go Matta here to try to go as long as possible before the Adrenaline 4 starts kicking in for our opponent, because that's when Erna-Gerd starts becoming dangerous. Okay, then they go Doo-Doo. What are they going to transform into? Uh-oh. Cave Troll just prevents us from doing anything to disrupt that combo. Not sure we had any options anyway, but all the more difficult now. Now let's get Ciri down there, and we'll protect her behind the Cave Troll. Let's use our leader ability before that Adrenaline 4 starts kicking in for ArnaChad. Because from here on out, just about any card that we play will get destroyed. Okay, and they're going to move some more units into the melee row, and that is unfortunate, because that's where those thrives are no longer going to get boosted. And at this stage, Adrenaline 4 is active, which means that if we play Werecat here, we will deal the damage. Actually, deal the damage twice, because, well, the deploy is going to trigger, and the Death Wish is too, because it immediately goes down to ArnaChad's damage. Then they have Fallblood Priest, which will deal damage to ArnaChad, but ArnaChad's not taking any damage because he's next to Sucrus. So this is starting to look a little scary here. But don't worry, I have a plan. Abaya will get destroyed. Then Scoia'tael is not that strong, so we're hoping that we can just hold on to this slim lead that we have here. Alpha Werewolf will also get immediately destroyed. Then we draw the additional card from Ciri Dash. Bruxa is not going to be a huge difference maker, but the bleed will still work. Then they have Armored Drakkar, which is the preferred target for them to deal damage to with the Smallblood Priest. And that means they will pass us here. Now let's play the Bruxa, and unfortunately we can't damage Erna-Gerd because he's behind the defender, but we can at least bleed the Cave Troll. And their last card is Spores here, which they use to boost their Phoenix back up from 3 to 4, which is not a big play. So you're saying there's a chance. Let's go Ozzrel and consume one of our units here. And I wanted to save this for last because if we consume Roach, it is the one card big enough not to get destroyed by Erna-Gerd, and we take the victory. So there's a look at a fun Monsters Thrive deck for the new Power Shift seasonal event. If you liked the video, then make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And leave a comment down below to let me know which other cards, archetypes, and factions you'd like us to experiment with next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.